Lukako will turn back into a guy. Her memories will disappear. Mayuri won't die today. However, I hesitate to open my address book. My thoughts turn to Lukako, who is probably still watching me from behind. If I turn around, what will I see on her face? I want to check, but I don't think she'd want that. Lukako finally smiled for me today, but I still have lingering reservations inside. This time, I'm about to sacrifice Lukako's memories. The memories of 17 years she lived as a girl on this world line. The memories of her parents, who rejoiced when their daughter was born. I'm about to erase all of that. But if I don't, I will be rejecting the 17 years Lukako lived as a guy. I'll be rejecting the memories of his parents, who rejoiced when their son was born. Even so, is it okay to turn Lukako back into a guy? I'm lost, and cannot take another step. I've sacrificed the memories of 2 friends already. The sight of their tears has burned into my mind. Something soft presses against my back. Lukako has embraced me from behind. Unexpected. I hear faint sobbing. What expression is she making now? Even without looking, I can tell. Her words are like needles stabbing into my heart. I have nothing against homosexuals, but unfortunately, I'm heterosexual. I won't be able to answer Lukako's feelings if he's a guy.
上岡部さんのぬくもりを感じていたら僕もっと嫌なこと言っちゃいそうだからもう気持ちを我慢できなくなっちゃうから
だが
Is this really okay?
岡部さんお願い
I'm about to sacrifice someone again. Is it my place to make that decision? My fingers tremble around my phone. But Lukiko embraces those trembling fingers with her own.
僕のこと覚えていて
はあ
With just one call to the phone wave, I can send a message to Luca's mother's pager.
女の子だった僕のこと覚えていて
はあ
If I make the call,
たった4日間だけ恋人だった僕のこと
はあダメだできない
岡部さんどうして
もう嫌なんだ誰かの思い出を犠牲にするのは
I've already trampled on Suza and Ferris's memories. I turned a blind eye to their suffering, all the while telling myself it was to save Mayuri. I justified it by telling myself that I would carry their burdens, but that was just a convenient excuse.
俺にはそんな権利ないんだ
I fall to my knees, unable to stand. The only way to save Mayuri is to send this email. There's no alternative. Even so, I don't have the right to erase Lukiko's entire life as a girl. I can't do such an arrogant thing. More than anything, I don't want to lose the Lukiko beside me right now.
岡部さん
Mayuri can't be saved. Mayuri's death is fate. No matter how many world lines I cross, convergence will occur. Mayuri will die, no matter what. Ouch! I'm tired of it all. Mayuri, I'm sorry. My ego wasn't strong enough to sacrifice everything for your sake. The first day of Kamima has ended. A few otaku warriors linger to check their spoils before beginning the odyssey home. Otherwise, Arake is silent and still, as if the crowd Lukiko and I saw this afternoon was a lie. Kamima runs for 3 days straight, but it already feels like the end of a festival. Of course, this silence is just for tonight. Tomorrow, people will come to fill this spacious promenade once again. My hand clutches at my chest. Mayuri will die in less than an hour. I'm not ready. Even so, I want to be with her in her final moments. I won't let her leave this world alone. That's why I came here right after leaving the shrine. She should still be in Arake somewhere. I contacted both Mayuri and Daru by mail. If they're still in Arake, they should be here any minute now. My phone rings. Speak of the devil. New mail. Lukiko. Is this really okay?
ゆか子
She doesn't have to say it. I know exactly what she means. There's only one thing I can say. This was my choice. You don't have to worry about a thing. I know that mail won't be enough to stop Lukiko from blaming herself. But I have to send it all the same, if only to strengthen my own resolve. Memories from this morning rise unbidden. Mayuri stopped by the lab on the way to Kamima. I was dozing on the couch. Suddenly, the darkness was burned away by light. Squinting against the fluorescent radiance, I raised my head to see who had entered.
あ、オカリンごめんね。起こしちゃったかな。
Mayuri was there, tugging at a
い
suitcase.
や、寝ていたわけじゃない。
I'd been up all night, trying to solve the problem of my last date with Lukako.
前よりは随分早いな。
あのね、マユシーはコスを取りに来たのです。それと、ついでに朝ごはん。
She took a sandwich and some potato salad from her convenience store bag.
これからコミマに行くのか。
ダル君はね、始発でもう行っちゃったみたいだよ。
そうか。
ねえねえ、オカリン。昨日はルカちゃんとどこ行ってきたの？楽しいデートはできたかな？あのね、昨日からルカちゃんメールに返事してくれないんだ。
ルカ子にメールしたのか。
マユシーはちょっと心配なのです。
Man, this is sad. The day before, Lukako burst into tears barely 5 minutes after we met up. Then we parted ways. That's why I couldn't give Mayuri an answer.
もしかしてまたルカちゃんのこと泣かせちゃったの？そうだとしたらね。
悲しい。
悲しい。だってね、ルカちゃんはマユシーのお友達だもん。
It was Mayuri's last day alive, and so Lukako's last day together with me. I asked myself, could I really let it end with both of them sad? Let it end? What right did I have to decide when it ends? My arrogance made me want to vomit. And then, as if to rely on Mayuri, I began to tell her my new plan.
お前は今日ずっとコミマ会場にいるのか。
いるけど、どうして？
ルカ子を連れて行ってもいいか。
本当？もちろんいいよ。
Mayuri smiled happily, took some milk out of the refrigerator to wash down the sandwich, and began to enjoy her breakfast.
ルカ子にコスプレをしてもらう件はどうなった？
結局ね、説得はできなかったよ。嫌がってるのに無理やり着せたりしてね、トラウマになっちゃったらよくないもん。
So basically, she gave up.
でもね、ルカちゃんにコミマに来てもらうっていうのはいいアイデアかも。そこで雰囲気を見てもらったら、ルカちゃんもやってみようかなって思うようになるかな。そしたら次の冬のコミマでいいからコスプレしてくれないかな。
どうだろうな。
そうなってくれるといいな。ねえねえ、本当に今日ルカちゃんを連れてきてくれる？
ああ。
オカリンもマユシーの作ったコス見に来てくれる？
そういうことになる。
そっか。本当に2人に来てもらえるならね、とっても嬉しいよ。
Mayuri packed her costumes into the suitcase.
じゃあもう行かなきゃ。絶対来てね。ずっと待ってるからね。今日だけじゃなくて明日も来たいって思うように頑張って案内するから。
I could hear my teeth grinding. I knew that whether Mayuri would get to see tomorrow depended entirely on my actions. If this day had gone as planned, my status as Lukako's temporary boyfriend would have come to a close. Lukako would have gone back to being a guy. Mayuri would survive the night. She would go to Kamima tomorrow, without a care in the world.
オカリン、どうかした？
Mayuri looked at me quizzically. She's always been sensitive to changes in my demeanor. So I put on a smile and responded as Hoin Kyoma.
問題ない。 世界を支配する機関といかに対決するかについて昼間有明で会おう。
待ってるね。
Mayuri didn't leave right away. She just stood there in front of the door, looking at me.
マヤシーだったらいつでも何でも相談に乗るからね。
マユリ。
じゃあ行ってきまーす。
Mayuri cheerfully flew out the door, suitcase in hand, like the white rabbit in Wonderland. The sound of her footsteps gradually faded away. Now alone, I took a deep breath. The time limit was 13 hours after that point in time. In those 13 hours, I was to return Lukako to manhood. I thought I had to change her back, but now...
オカリン。
A voice calls me back to the present. There's Mayuri, dragging her suitcase. Daru isn't with her. She's probably upset. After all, I completely stood her up on the promise we made this morning.
来てくれたんだ。でもちょっと遅いよ。マユシーはずっと待ってたのに、すごく寂しかったのです。
すまない。
I can't look Mayuri in the eye. As Mayuri was waiting in vain, I was making the worst possible decision for her. I chose not to turn Lukako back. I chose to not save Mayuri. No, let's not beat around the bush. I chose to let her die. It's not that I don't want to save her. I do. But I can't bring myself to make the necessary sacrifice.
ルカちゃんは？
来ていない。
また泣かせちゃったの？
いや。
My thoughts are a jumble. Her every word seems an accusation. Of course, I know that's not her intent. Even if she knew what I'd done, this innocent childhood friend of mine doesn't have a bitter bone in her body. It's my guilty conscience, changing Mayuri's words into stabbing, a sword stabbing straight through the heart. But even so, I can no longer change the past. I don't want to change it. So I have no other choice. No other choice but to accept the death this world so desires. If I were a normal man, I would have had to accept Mayuri's death whether I liked it or not. I wouldn't have been able to try to avert it. But by chance, I acquired the power of a god. It allowed me to try again and again. If anything, I should be grateful for the opportunity I was given.
オカリン。
I can't let Mayuri sense my unease. She can always tell when there's something bothering me. 10 minutes left. I want her to spend them happy and carefree. That's the very least I can do for her. So I put on the mask of Hoin Kilma, just as I did for Lukako.
案ずるなマユリ。俺とルカ子は至って順調。あの秋葉原の先森たる巫女とは強い縁で結ばれているのだ。そう、俺とルカ子は離れたくも離れられない運命なのだよ。そして今日、この俺の IQ170 を誇る灰色の脳細胞を持ってルカ子に笑顔を蘇らせた。あいつは言った。俺と一緒に修行ができて楽しかったとな。
As soon as those words leave my lips, I realize my mistake. That makes it sound like I broke my promise to Mayuri just so I could give Lukako a fun time, doesn't it? Well, I suppose that is what happened. But Mayuri didn't need to know that.
本当？よかった。
But Mayuri, innocent as she is, just gives me a happy, relieved smile.
じゃあ、オカリンとルカちゃんは別れたりすることもないんだね。
ああ、別れない。
Actually, our temporary relationship has already ended. That was our agreement. But I don't think I need to tell Mayuri that.
そっか。これでマユシーは安 心してコミマに集中できるよ。
マユリは明日も参加するのか？
そうだよ、3日連続なの。
I shouldn't have asked. I fight the urge to check my phone. Last time I checked, it was about 7 p.m. I don't have the guts to check again. I don't want to watch the seconds tick down to Mayuri's death.
バル君遅いね。さっき電話したらまだ近くにいるって言ってたよ。
別に置いていってもいいんだがな。
もうちょっと待ってみようよ。
If that's what Mayuri wants, then I won't deny her. Besides, I don't want Mayuri's last moments to be in a crowded train or bus, but rather somewhere she can see the stars. Not that I have any right to choose her place of death.
ねえねえ、なんとかしてルカちゃんにコスプレしてもらえないかな。どうやって説得すればいいんだろうね。
Mayuri's mood is completely healed. Why is she so happy? Did she hear something pleasing somewhere in this conversation? Was it knowing that things are going well between me and Lukako? Or was it that I kept my promise to come here after all? I don't know. But seeing Mayuri's happy smile makes my heart ache.
ルカちゃんがキラリちゃんのコスプレしたらね、絶対似合うと思うんだ。ルカちゃんってね、マユシーがドキドキしちゃうくらい可愛いもん。世界中の人たちにね、ルカちゃんの可愛さを知ってもらいたいってオカリンも思うよね。あ、それともルカちゃんは自分だけのものって思ってるのかな。でもね、独り占めはダメだよ。マユシーだってルカちゃんにキュンキュンしたいよ。
別にマユリの好きにしたらいい。ルカ子は俺のものじゃないんだから。
そっか、よかった。それにね、ルカちゃんにコスプレしてもらいたい理由はもう一つあるんだよ。
Mayuri is awfully obsessed with Lukako today. Come to think of it, Mayuri's done nothing but talk about Lukako for these past 4 days, ever since Lukako and I started dating.
ルカちゃんって普段おとなしいでしょ。あんまり自分の意見も言おうとしないし、コスプレするとね、普段の自分とは別の自分になれるんだよ。だからね、最初は恥ずかしいかもしれないけど、ルカちゃんも一度やればきっと新しいルカちゃんを見つけられると思うんだ。そしたらね、今より積極的な性格になってね、もしかするとオカリンをお尻に敷いちゃうかもしれないよ。
She really does care for Lukako. And yet, I know that all of her hopes and dreams are in vain. Suddenly, Mayuri falls silent. She looks up and raises one hand high above her head, as if to catch the star sky. Stardust handshake.
星は見えるか？
You can see the stars more clearly in I cannot never say that right. Ariake than Akiba. If only the stars would answer her call. If only she could melt into their embrace. What salvation that would be. In the past, when she reached for the sky, I've always pulled her back down to earth, as if to keep her from floating away. But today, I don't dare. What does Mayuri think when she reaches for that starry sky? I've never asked her. Perhaps now is the time.
なあ、マユリ。
Oh no.
おーい、オカリン、マユシ。
Okay, anytime I see like a cutoff, I'm like, oh, is it time? Oh. Daru runs up to us, calling our names.
ああ、ダルくん、遅いよ。
あ、悪い悪い。いやー、戦利品の確認に手間取ったでござる。
Daru's backpack is filled to the brim. He's also carrying 5 paper bags illustrated with moe drawings. Such zeal.
じゃあ帰ろっか。
Mayuri gets up to lead the way, and we start heading towards the train station. The direct shuttle bus to Akiba has already ended its service.
今日も暑くて死ぬかと思ったっつうの。コスプレ会場はどうだったん？
風が気持ちよかったよ。
まあ、まゆしは自分でコスプレするわけじゃないしな。つうか、オカリンいつ来たん？なんか買った？
いや。
おやおや、なんか暗くね？彼女持ちのリア充のくせに、なぜにそんな顔してやがりますか？
オカリン？どうかし...
Mayuri's voice is abruptly cut short. Her suitcase falls to the ground with a thud. It's time. Mayuri presses her hands to the center of her chest. Her face contorts in pain. I see it happen in slow motion, frame by frame. Slowly, slowly. She starts to fall. It's so sudden. So sudden. And soon. And so I fail to catch her in time. Mayuri falls to the ground, motionless.
Mayushi?
I can't move. I can't breathe. Strangely, I feel no sorrow. All I feel is guilt. I knew this would happen. I could have prevented it. The one who killed Mayuri is me.
Mayushi! どうしたんだよ!
Daru tosses his bags away and runs to Mayuri's side. He lifts her up and slaps her cheeks a bit. I keep watching, as if I were merely a bystander.
息してない。え、何これ。なんだよこれ。オカリン、マユシがなんか変だよ。
死んだんだな。
What could be the cause? A heart attack? She wasn't killed this time. That's a relief. At least Mayuri died in one piece.
死んだって。そんな嘘だろ。だって今の今まで普通に話してたし。おい、マユシ、起きろよ。ドッキリか？ドッキリだろ。僕を騙してどうしようってんだよ。
誰？
I put my hand on Daru's shoulder to calm him down.
マユリは死んだ。
Daru turns pale. His lips tremble as he looks at Mayuri's face in disbelief.
救急車を呼ぼう。
なんでこんな。つうか、お前なんでそんな平然とした顔してんだよ。死んだんだぞ。もう帰ってこないんだぞ。分かってんのか、オカリン。
分かってる。
分かってるじゃなくてさ、マユシが息をしてないんだよ。だ。
俺は見殺しにした。
I kneel beside Mayuri.
俺はマユリを助けられなかった。
I reach out to Mayuri's motionless body.
いや違う。救わなかった。
I embrace her tightly.
見捨てたんだ。俺はマユリを。
I look up to the starry sky, just as Mayuri always did. The tears don't come. Maybe I've gotten used to it. Or maybe it's because I'm not worthy to mourn her. What fills my heart is emptiness.